2015 has been an excellent year for flagship smartphones. Samsung has released the Galaxy S6, their most premium and most beautifully designed smartphone ever, while HTC had a minor but very solid upgrade to their legendary 1 series with the One M9. Oh, and LG. Well, LG has released the G4, a phone that very well may be the best smartphone you can buy. The G4 looks pretty similar to previous flagships from the Korean giant. Most iconically, the volume and power buttons are on the back and not on the sides like a traditional smartphone. And while they take time getting used to, I ended up liking them quite a bit as they offered easy access in both portrait and landscape modes. Now, the G4, unlike other premium flagships this year, is assembled nearly entirely of plastic, unless of course you opt in for the more expensive leather option, which is still almost all plastic. Now, don't be mistaken, the phone is sturdy and well built, but it doesn't feel like an ultra premium and expensive 2015 flagship like the iPhone or the Galaxy S6. It has a very 2013 look to it. Now, one advantage to this plastic design is that it's one of the few remaining flagships with a removable back cover. Behind the cover provides access to a SIM slot, a removable battery, and yes, you guessed it, expandable SD storage. The phone's IPS quantum display is ever so slightly curved. Now, this concave has a few specific advantages. The first one is that glare is reduced and outdoor visibility is quite excellent. The second is that it's a lot more rigid and less prone to cracking if you drop it. And third, it's just much better to hold. Even though this phone has a large 5.5-inch display, it feels like a tiny phone in comparison to the flat, uncomfortably large and non-ergonomic iPhone 6 Plus. Now, the gentle curve of the G4 makes it a treat to hold and is one of the most comfortable phones I've ever used, although because of the curve, it can feel slightly awkward in pocket. As for the LCD IPS display, wow, what a beautiful screen. This LCD IPS display is Quad HD, rocking a resolution of, can you guess it? Ding, 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 2560 by 1440. Now, LG markets the display as, quote, an IPS quantum display, end quote, which translated into English means that it has the vibrancy, brightness, and contrast of an OLED display, but the ability to accurately reproduce colors like a good LCD. It's really the best of both worlds. The blacks on the G4 are really good. They're closer to an OLED than to an LCD with very little light bleed. Now, the color accuracy makes it excellent at dialing in skin tones and contrast while shooting photos and video. Speaking of photos, the LG G4 has the best camera of any smartphone on the market, period. The 16-megapixel rear camera has a massive sensor, crazy low aperture at f1.8, laser autofocus, and, of course, optical image stabilization. Now, the camera gives you fully manual controls like shooting in RAW, which is pretty awesome, but what's even more awesome is how good and how quick the automatic mode is. Now, the G4 is fast to focus, it accurately decides white balance and contrast, and it takes pictures quickly. It's not as fast as the iPhone, but it's certainly faster than the Note 4 and even the Galaxy S6. Low-light performance is unlike any smartphone before it, and I'm amazed at the shots that this camera can get without flash. One complaint that I have with the camera, and one that's shared by many, is that LG's camera software tends to over-sharpen photos in a lot of occasions that, when zoomed, can look very unnatural and distorted. Hopefully this is fixed in a future software update, but even still, I hold no reservations in saying that the G4's camera supersedes that of the competition. For selfie addicts out there, yeah, we know you're one of them. The front-facing camera is also superb. An 8-megapixel shooter is ready to capture your lovely mug and integrates a few neat features that we've seen before, like a selfie light that uses the display to illuminate your face, as well as gestures to get the perfect shot. Now that we've talked about the outside, let's get an idea of the innards. The LG G4 rocks a hexa-core Snapdragon 808 processor clocked at 1.8 GHz, which I, along with many others, were sad to hear, as we were hoping for the Snapdragon 810 that's present in the Galaxy S6. After a few months of use, though, I'm convinced that the 808 was the right option for the G4. Keep in mind, it still has 3 gigs of RAM, so the phone is fast. The menus, transitions, and user experience were never crippled by lag or delay. Gaming was a charm, and while the phone did get warm, I never felt like it lacked power, ever. The only place that I noticed that the phone wasn't up to snuff against the competition, namely the Galaxy S6, was when I ran benchmarks. But that was literally it. It's that good. One huge advantage to the more efficient processor that not many reviewers have talked about is that the G4 is much nicer to the battery than, say, the Galaxy S6, which is infamous for poor battery life. I was able to get to the end of the day on a single charge every single day but one, which had extremely heavy usage as I was traveling and watching movies. On average, I'd say I got from 5.5 to 6 hours of on-screen time. Now, while not likely that you'll run out of juice, the advantage to the G4 is that 1, it has a removable and swappable battery, and B, and this is the best part, like the Galaxy S6, it supports Qualcomm Quick Charge and can fill up to nearly 80% charge in less than half an hour. Now, this charger isn't supplied by LG, and in fact, LG isn't even actively marketing it, but has acknowledged that it's a feature and that users can find a third-party charger on Amazon for $10 to $15. The G4 at launch is running Android 5.1 with LG's skin on top. Now, being completely honest, the functionality of LG software is actually really great. In fact, in many instances, I preferred it to stock Android. That's functionally speaking. Aesthetically, it's a mess. There's weird scrolling text, goofy looking widgets, and inconsistent icons. That said, LG has taken a lot of really great features from other companies and integrated it into their own software. The most notable of such is dual window that comes from Samsung's TouchWiz. Now, I only used it a few times, but it was nice being able to watch YouTube videos and check Twitter while on the toilet. Another neat feature that LG has integrated is automation based on activity and location. For example, you can set your music app to open when you plug in headphones, or have Google Maps appear when you connect to your car's Bluetooth. A few of LG's widgets are redundant, unnecessary, and oftentimes downright ugly. But all in all, the software is very smooth, amongst the best Android experience yet, but it's still ugly. Of course, you can throw a third-party launcher on top to de-LG it while retaining the neat added features, and that's a pretty good suggestion. In conclusion, the LG G4 is a killer smartphone, one of the most underrated and well-rounded devices on the market today. It has an unbeatable camera, incredibly well-balanced display, superb battery life, and a very solid build quality despite being plastic. Now, as long as you're okay with people taking no interest in your newly purchased device, like they would with, say, the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge, the LG G4 is a superb option for anyone, from tech geek to soccer mom. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave it a thumbs up. If you didn't, a thumbs down. If you'd like to support our channel and future videos like these, please shop through our Amazon affiliate link, snazzyzon.com. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay snazzy. See you later, folks.